Y'all are probably looking at your screen right now and wondering, why does Torian have the picture of a rat on his screen? Well, apparently viruses are the order of the day, because there is now this new strain of a virus out here that is not the Wuhan. And I don't have a nickname for this one yet, because they don't know exactly where in China this one comes from. So I'm going to do a little bit of a backstory. So this new strain of a different virus is called the Hanta virus. And based on what I've read so far, it started back in the 1950s, which was right around the time the Wuhan original strain had got started in Korea. I'm not sure if it was North or South Korea, just said Korea. And apparently some United Nations troops had contracted it, and then it kind of spread, but it was more contained, much like the Wuhan. And then it just kind of tapered off. Now it is back in motion. I said China can't catch a break, but you know what? It is what it is. So this leads into how this one got out. So we know that the Wuhan came from apparently a bat. This one came from a rat. I'm just ready to see if the next one's going to come from a cat. Like, why don't we might as well just keep on going down the list. And I'm about to knock y'all over the head with this one. I said a rat. And I said Chinese New Year. What is the Chinese New Year for 2020? Because every year they have one, some kind of an animal that they probably have cooked and eaten. And have y'all noticed that most of the animals that they have that they celebrate in the Chinese New Year, that they cook and they eat? But anyway, back to the topic. What was the rodent for this year? Guess what it was? The rat. As of January 25th, 2020, of the Chinese New Year, their representation for this year is the rat. Now look at how they can get this new virus, the Hanta virus. A rat. I'm convinced that China is one of the most filthiest places on the planet, because every time a disease comes from there, it always comes from some kind of rodent. And when I looked up how it gets out there, where it came from, besides telling the location, it always went back to mice and rats. Just like the Wuhan came from a bat. And this right here should turn people off from wanting to eat at carryouts. Because I kid you not, I saw a picture one time on the internet where somebody had got some food from a Chinese carryout, and I kid you not, it was a tail coming out of the end of what was supposed to be in the food. And that person, it turned out that whatever they were supposed to have, no, it was actually a rat that was fried up in the batter. I was like, oh, that is disgusting. I would have sued that establishment and made sure to shut them down. The FDA, the Food Drug Administration, would have had to run them up out of there, for real. It was a running joke that I had when we was in school and when I was in college, because we were near two carryouts in my freshman year back in 2007. We came back in 2008. We used to see a whole bunch of stray cats in my freshman year. When we came back in 2008 for my sophomore year, we was like, where are all those stray cats at? And they said they probably found them while we was on break, and they probably cooked them. Now, that was just the joke we had back in 2008. Here we are in 2020. And now I believe more than ever that wasn't even a joke. I believe they actually caught them cats, skinned them, and cooked them and served it. I wouldn't be surprised. But the main reason I'm doing this video now is because the Hanta virus is going to start making a little bit of airwaves, probably not as much as the Wuhan, because this is the main focal point right here. But now it has really gotten out there, because so far one person has died from the Hanta virus. And now China has double the workload on their hands. They got to fight off one virus while tackling a new strain of an old virus. When this tapers off and tapers down and people are able to travel, when I get the chance to actually travel overseas, China will not be one of the places I'm going to. I'm sorry, because it seems like every time somebody goes to China, they come back to their land with something. That happened with the Spanish flu. Somebody from Spain went over there and they came back, and that's how the Spanish flu occurred. The United Nations, the troops went over there, something happened, came back and had the earlier strain of the Hanta virus. I'm not going over there. I'm not. It just is what it is. People should have known what that was all about when you would see clips or movies online or whatever, and you would see dead animals hanging right there in the front of the market. Like, you could see dead chickens and dead dog heads and all types of stuff. People used to laugh and joke about that, but now it's seeming more real than anything. Like, China has officially taken a top spot for being one of the most filthiest places in the world, just on the fact of how this pandemic got out there. From eating a bat. Apparently they said it was somebody who was eating bat soup. Like, who thinks to put a bat in soup? Bat and soup, that just doesn't go together. It's a reason why Chinese people in America don't eat from Chinese carryouts. It's not because the food isn't good. It's because it doesn't have a side of rodent in it, apparently. I mean, these are the same group of people, to my knowledge. I'm not sure if it's the Chinese or the Japanese, who eat seaweed. We're talking about something that comes from the bottom of the ocean, that is a plant that's supposed to just be there, and they just dig it up and serve it. But yeah, the country of China has completely turned the world off from them. For real. But that's all I have to say about this. Y'all let me know what y'all think about it down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. Make sure y'all follow me on Twitter if you haven't done so already. Have your notifications turned on, and I will talk to you in the next one.